Some friends of mine have been showing a nervousness towards looking at airbrushing, feeling that it was a little overcomplicated. So I thought I would put together just a couple of videos to show how easy it is to use the basics with an airbrush. And by the basics, I'm merely looking at undercoating with a good zenithal highlight, varnishing, and potentially base colors. So in this video, all I'm going to do, I'm not going to look at the kit, I'm not going to look at the setup, I'm going to show how quick and easy it is to use an airbrush to undercoat your miniatures. I've got some that need doing from Madara, as both Loquitur and Canje studios, whose links will be in the text, are board gamers and run board game channels. So moving down to the lower camera, if I bring my basic airbrush in front, I'm using for this part a Fender FE 130. These are fairly cheap, easily available on Amazon, and they come in kits with a Fender FD 186 compressor, which is a very quiet compressor that you may or may not hear running in the background during this stream. There'll be links to the kits from Amazon. I'm using Vallejo Mecha Primer because it's designed for airbrushing, and I'm going to shake it very, very thoroughly first. I'm using it pure, I'm not watering it down, and I'm running my compressor at 35 psi for this. So just in and a good amount into the cap. Move the holder out of the way so you can see what I'm doing, and turn on the extractor. The only reason I need an extractor is because I work in a very small room which has a lot of books in it. If you're working somewhere like a garage where you're not worried about the dust, all you really need is a face mask. Now just get your airbrush, finger down, and just test you've got paint coming through. Done. Miniature, finger down, and just lightly spray. It's very directional with an airbrush, so you need to make sure you're coming at it from all angles. First layer done, quick and easy. I've got 3 of those, I'll do 2 layers on each. I'm not going to cut or edit this video, so you see just how quick and easy this can be. The further I've pulled my finger back on the trigger controls how much paint comes through. Pushing down on the trigger just opens up the airflow. So finger down, air flowing, pull back. I don't tend to ever pull it all the way back unless I'm trying to clear a clog or something. One coat. Airbrushing dries very quickly. If you want to speed it up a bit, you can use a hairdryer. And this is just making sure I've got a good solid black coat all the way over. That stage is done. Clean up time. So just pour out any excess paint. These are smaller than I usually do, so quick squirt through. Get a little bit of kitchen towel, toilet paper, and clean out the excess. If you've got dogs, make sure you put it in a bin they can't get into. Mine love eating paper. Then finger over the nib and just pull back, letting the air come through. Do that a couple of times till the water runs clear. Doing this part, this will take longer because the paint we're using is actually fairly thick. We haven't thinned it a lot. If you're using thinner paints, it's a lot quicker to clean. So that's nice and clear. Then my holder is designed so that it can take airbrush being sprayed into it, so just drop of water in and that will clean out the rest of the nozzle. There you go. My airbrush is clean, or certainly clean enough now to work between the two. Now I'm going to use ink for my zenithal highlights, and I'm using a De La Rowney FW ink, which is very opaque. You've got 3 grades: opaque, semi-translucent and translucent. If you're using it for zenithal, make sure it's opaque. Just to make sure that everything's dry, I'm getting a hairdryer. The hairdryer is on the medium, so the lowest heat setting, and then only going on to the lowest of the fan settings. As miniatures tend to be plastic, you don't want too much heat, or you'll find that you've messed them up. Just in case you didn't hear that over the hairdryer, I was saying that because they're plastic, you can melt them, so you've got to keep the heat low. So now, get my white ink. Few drops in. You don't use a lot, so you don't want to go too crazy. Possibly use a little more matte, but you can always put more in if you need to. And then, because there's probably still a little bit of liquid in from cleaning, I'm just going to pull the same trick, put my finger over the tip and pull back. And that will just mix all of the paint and the ink inside. Miniature out, and again, you want things to be directional for zenithal highlight, and airbrushes are, so let's just test that it will paint. There we go. And just lightly, from, some people go straight down, I prefer 45 degrees forward, 45 degrees to the side, and just quick and gentle bursts, and there you can see it's starting to get zenithal. I will go off angle slightly because it'll just add a bit of grey and soften those up a bit and show me some of the other highlights, and I'll go back to my original. Next one, same again, bit off to the sides. Depending on the miniature, I might go further around the sides, I might go all the way round, depending on what I'm trying to do. I might want softer highlights, I might want stronger highlights. With these, as I have done with most of my Madara miniatures, I'm going with fairly strong ones. But see how quick and easy and controlled this is compared to using a rattle can, which you just kind of slap it all over. And I'm not out in the cold, I don't have lots of noxious fumes. What you're worried and why you want an extractor with an airbrush is particles, not fumes. As you can see, when I'm spraying, there are little jets coming out. Those particles can then go everywhere where they don't hit your airbrush or don't hit your target. So if you've got books or things in the room, they'll create a dust layer over it, and of course you're breathing that. Hence why I would recommend, if you're just using a cardboard box rather than an extractor, wear a mask to protect you. Just go back to the others. Now that's dried. Reapply just to get that really vibrant white on that top layer. And there you go, done. I'll take some photos of these now and put them up at the end of the video so you can see how they look. I'm just going to lighten that up a bit because it's a little bit more extreme than I wanted. And I'm probably going to airbrush the base coats of most of these miniatures. So, done. Finish off by cleaning your airbrush, and in the case of what I just did, throwing paint everywhere. Just quickly clean out. That was stupid of me. And then, like as we did before, into clean, bit of paper around. Now there'll be one extra cleaning step at this stage. So after you cleaned everything off and bubbled it back to clean, one more. Again, we're just going to blast it out the front. So bring this over. And then I'm going to use some Vallejo airbrush cleaner. Not a lot, just a couple of drops. Bubble that back and blast it through just to finish cleaning off the last of that. You hear the sound as it changes. Bit of water to clean out the last of the cleaner so it doesn't interfere with the paint when I paint next time. And done. The airbrush can go away. It's that quick and easy. Next video I'll probably be looking at undercoating, and then I might move on to looking at some that are more involved with going into little bits and pieces when you're actually painting a miniature. I hope you enjoyed that and found it interesting. If you did, please subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, hit the notification button to get notified when I put up more videos. The more people subscribe, the more interest there is, the more content I'll produce. And I'll see you next time.